I never thought I would have to say goodbye to my grandmother so soon. She had always been the strongest person I knew, wise, patient, and full of stories that shaped my childhood. But as I sat beside her hospital bed, holding her frail hand in mine, I knew our time together was coming to an end. The monitors beeped steadily, the room filled with the sterile scent of disinfectant, but none of it seemed to matter. All that mattered was her, and the last words she had left to share. She opened her eyes slowly, her gaze meeting mine. Though weak, there was still a light in them, a quiet wisdom that had guided me all my life. She squeezed my hand gently, her fingers cold but still comforting. "Come closer, my dear," she whispered, her voice barely more than a breath. I leaned in, trying to hold back the lump in my throat. "I'm here, Grandma." She smiled softly. "There are things I need to tell you, things I have learned in this long life of mine. Promise me you will remember them." I nodded, my eyes stinging with unshed tears. "I promise." She took a slow, shaky breath before speaking again. 1. Happiness is found in the small moments. When I was younger, she began, I used to think happiness was something you had to chase. I thought it was in grand achievements, in wealth, in recognition. But now, at the end of my journey, I see things differently. Her eyes drifted to the window where the afternoon sun cast a golden glow on the white hospital curtains. Happiness isn't in things, my dear. It's in the quiet moments, the ones that seem small at the time but mean everything in the end. She smiled wistfully. It's in the laughter shared with loved ones, in the feeling of warm sunlight on your face, in the sound of rain on the roof while you drink a cup of tea. Those are the moments that make life beautiful. I swallowed hard, realizing how often I had overlooked those simple joys. Chartu, kindness is never a waste. She turned back to me, her gaze serious. I know the world can be cruel. People will take advantage of you, they will hurt you, and sometimes you will wonder if kindness is even worth it. She exhaled slowly. But listen to me, my dear. Kindness is never wasted. Even if people don't always appreciate it, even if it feels like it doesn't matter, it does. Her eyes softened. Many years ago, I helped a stranger when I had little to give. I didn't expect anything in return. But years later, when I was struggling, that same stranger found me and repaid my kindness tenfold. She smiled. But even if that had never happened, I wouldn't have regretted being kind, because kindness isn't about what you get in return. It's about who you choose to be in this world. I squeezed her hand, feeling the truth in her words. 3. Fear will steal your life if you let it. Her expression grew distant, as if she were recalling an old memory. Fear is a thief, she said. It will steal your dreams, your joy, and your time if you let it. She sighed. There were things I wanted to do, places I wanted to see, but I let fear hold me back. I was too afraid of failure, too afraid of what others might think. Her eyes met mine, filled with quiet regret. Don't make the same mistake. Take the risk. Speak your heart. Chase the things that set your soul on fire. Fear will always be there, whispering doubts in your ear, but you must not let it win. A single tear slipped down my cheek. I won't, I whispered. She smiled, a small but knowing smile. Good. She closed her eyes for a moment, as if gathering her strength. I stayed silent, letting her rest, but my heart ached knowing there was so much more she wanted to say. And I knew, whatever came next, I would carry her words with me forever. I sat there in silence, holding her frail hand, absorbing every word. The weight of her voice, though weak, carried the strength of a lifetime. She opened her eyes again, studying my face as if trying to memorize it one last time. You must understand, she whispered. Time is the most precious thing you have, and it's the one thing you can never get back. Her words settled deep in my chest. People waste so much time on things that don't matter, she continued, her breath shaky. Holding grudges, chasing perfection, worrying about things they can't change. But when you reach my age, you'll see how little of it truly matters. She exhaled slowly, as if releasing a lifetime of burdens. Don't waste your time on anger. Don't waste it on regret. And most of all, don't waste it waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment, my dear. Life is happening now. Live it. I nodded, my throat too tight to speak. I thought of all the times I had put things off, telling myself there would always be more time. But sitting here now, watching time slip away from her, I realized how foolish that was. She gave my hand another squeeze, her touch weaker than before. And love, she said softly, Love is what makes it all worth it. She smiled, as if remembering something distant and beautiful. Love is messy. It's not always easy, but if you ever have to choose between protecting your heart and opening it fully, choose love. Her voice wavered, but her eyes shone with certainty. I have loved and I have lost. And yes, love will bring you pain, but it will also bring you the deepest joys you will ever know. Don't be afraid of it. Give your love freely, and never let fear keep you from it. She paused, struggling for breath, and I could see how much effort it took for her to keep speaking. I wanted to tell her to rest, but I knew these words were important to her. She looked at me again, her gaze softer now, filled with something unspoken. When you lose someone you love, it will hurt. It will feel like the world has stopped. But promise me, my dear, that you will keep going. Tears welled in my eyes. I promise. She smiled, satisfied. And one last thing, she whispered, her voice barely audible now. At the end of it all, when your own time comes, I want you to be able to look back and say, I lived well. Her eyes fluttered closed, her breathing slowing. I held her hand tighter, willing time to stop, even just for a moment longer. I love you, Grandma, I whispered. A faint smile touched her lips, and then, with one final breath, she was gone. The room felt unbearably quiet. I sat there, still holding her hand as her words echoed in my mind. She was right, about everything, and I would never forget it. The silence in the room was deafening. The weight of her absence settled over me like a heavy fog, pressing down on my chest, making it hard to breathe. I kept holding her hand, even though it had gone still, as if I could somehow keep her here a little longer. The truth was, I wasn't ready to let go. How could I be? She had been the anchor of my life, the steady presence that had guided me through childhood and beyond. And now, she was gone, leaving behind only her words, her lessons, and the love she had so selflessly given. I sat there for a long time, replaying her voice in my head, the wisdom she had shared in her final moments. It wasn't just advice, it was the essence of a life well lived. She had given me something priceless, a map to navigate the years ahead. I thought about what she had said about happiness, about how it wasn't found in things, but in moments. I remembered the sound of her laughter as we baked cookies in her kitchen, the way she would hum softly while knitting by the fireplace, the warmth of her hugs when I had a bad day. Those moments had been everything. I thought about her lesson on kindness, about how even the smallest act of goodwill could ripple through the world in ways we couldn't predict. I wanted to carry that with me, to be the kind of person who left people better than I found them. Her warning about fear echoed in my mind. I had spent so much of my life hesitating and overthinking, letting fear dictate my choices. But she was right. Fear was a thief. It had stolen opportunities from me, moments of joy, chances to grow. I didn't want to let it win anymore. And love. Oh, how she had believed in love. She had loved fiercely, even when it hurt, even when it meant loss. Sitting there, feeling the aching emptiness in my heart, I understood what she meant. Love was the only thing that truly mattered in the end. A soft knock on the door pulled me from my thoughts. A nurse stepped in quietly, offering me a kind smile filled with sympathy. "Take all the time you need," she said gently. I nodded, but I knew I couldn't stay forever. My grandmother wouldn't have wanted that. She had spent her final moments making sure I understood how precious life was. And now it was my turn to live. I stood up slowly, releasing her hand for the last time. As I did, I made a silent promise to her, to take her words to heart, to live boldly, to love without fear, to be kind without expectation, to live a life that, when my own time came, I could look back on with no regrets. I turned toward the door, taking a deep breath. And then, with her words still echoing in my heart, I stepped forward into the life she had urged me to live.